see the following in this course. So first of all, today we will start with a short introduction about what is, why we need innovation. Then we will see some definitions and what is innovation. We will see that there are different types of innovation, such as radical innovation or incremental innovation. So we will see the differences, and we will see some examples about that. And then we will start very quickly with criterions for successful innovation, which makes, or which are the criterions that makes that innovations succeed, and which are criterions that innovations fail. Then we will see the technology acceptance model, the basic model, and some extended models, because this model has been developed and redeveloped and extended several times in the last decade. So this is actually the model you will work in your case study on. And then we will see some examples. And we will finish the course with why innovation fails, and a conclusion about new product development and innovation. And I will explain then the technology acceptance model case study. Okay, so today we will start with what is innovation, and then we will see the different types of innovation, and I think we'll start with some criterions for successful innovation, or the general context of innovation, why innovation is important. Innovation represents a lot of risk, financial risks, but also commercial risks, because it is very expensive to launch new products today. So it is estimated in fast-moving consumer goods sector, a product launch is several millions, even several hundred of millions of euros. The problem is there are a lot of problems when you launch a new product. The main problem is that you're not alone. General competition is doing the same job as you, has similar products. You have to compete with other competitors, and there are around 90,000 product launchments a year, and 90%, so 9 of 10 products, don't survive more than 2 years. And so the failure rate is very high. One reason is actually competition, but another reason is that actually a lot of innovations are not really innovations, and do not bring supplementary benefits to the customers. There are different factors causing that. First of all, environmental factors, and for example, political factors that change. If you look at the example of the car industry. In the car industry, innovations of former decades are no innovations anymore. And for example, the traditional diesel engine is no innovation anymore, and it has been replaced by hybrid engines or electric engines. So strategical factors, innovation factors of decades are not existing anymore and have been replaced by new technologies. There are also economic factors. So there are economic downturns, but there are also growth. So this also influences positively or negatively innovation. There are social customers change, social factors. Also, innovations might succeed or might fail. So the time you develop an innovation, and the development can take different years or even decades. It depends on the sector. For example, in fast-moving consumer sector, innovation cycle is around 3 to 5 years, but it can go to 10, 15 years. In the pharmaceutical sector, it can go to until different decades for an aircraft. If you look at the aircraft sector, today the military aircraft industry is thinking about a new European military aircraft that will fly in 2040 or 2050. So the development cycle is very long. And when developing these new products or new services, you never know how will be the market in 10, 20 or 30 years. So the demand can change. And this is also what often happens, for example, in the aircraft sector. That is why we have a lot of problems in the Airbus industry, but also with Boeing, because the demand changed over time. And therefore, the products finally had problems on the market. But there are also consumer pressure. So consumers are also demanding. They change. For example, I put the example of individualization. Individualization is when consumers want more and more individual products. Due to individualization pressure, firms have a supplementary constraint. Customers want more and more tailored products that fit individually to their products. So in summary, a lot of external factors that cannot be controlled raise an important amount of problems that might bring product or service failure. Second, uncertainty. You never know how politics change. Take the example of the Brexit. We won't know if it really happens. 3 years ago, the UK voted. 3 years later, we are still at the same state. No advancement. We don't know if they go out. Perhaps they go out. If they go out, it will bring a lot of economic problems, but also political problems. So something what we never thought in the European Union. Had an exit of a state of the European Union. But these are things that are uncertain, that we cannot forecast, and even in stable economic regions like Europe, uncertainty exists and can influence negatively the business and including innovation. And if you look to less stable countries like in Africa or even Asia, there's a lot of uncertainty, and this brings problems for product launches and is one cause of product failure. The shorting product life cycle. We take again the example of the life cycle of a car. Some decades before, if you take the example of the Beetle in Germany from Volkswagen, the life cycle was from, let's say, 1934 until the production in Germany stopped in the 80s, so 50 years, and it continued in Mexico. So the product was something like 60 to 70 years on the market. They imagine a car changes every 3 to 4 years. The life cycle became much shorter. Well, what does this mean? That the firms have less time to make benefits with a product. They have to invest more and more money to shorten the life cycle, and they have less and less time on the market to make benefits with the product. And therefore, competitive positions erode very quickly. If you take the smartphone sector or the computer sector, every 1 to 2 years a new model comes out. For Apple, it's every 2 years. 1 to 2 years for very heavy product development cost. It's very short to bring benefits to the firm. The development time has to be shorter, but subsequently the time on the market becomes shorter. So the competitive positions of the firms erode very quickly due to this short time they have on the market. And finally, rising cost of developing new products. This is related to the fact that the development time is shorter. So firms have to invest more heavily into development in order to bring out more quickly the products on the market. And they have then less time to realize the benefits. So these are some of the reasons, but we will see in this lecture some more. But the main reasons are clearly related to external pressure, environmental pressure, coming from politics, ethical reasons, environmental reasons, social reasons, and consumer reasons. So in this context, and this is a very competitive context, innovation is a key strategic focus of firms. In order always to develop superior and better products and services for customers. Because customers only change products or only buy new products if they bring higher benefits. So customers don't buy because for the pleasure of innovation or of new products. They want better benefits, superior benefits, and so in order to stay competitive compared to other firms, innovation is very important to maintain the competitive position. So it's perhaps the most important factor next to customer relationship management. It's a key strategic resource to stay competitive in order to deliver different and superior products and services to customers. And innovation is also the best way to cope with environmental changes of the environment, because environments change quickly. So firms have to adapt quickly to these environmental changes. I take another example, artificial intelligence, or IoT. All these innovations were integrated into firm processes or created opportunities for innovation. If you take the example of the social web, there are a lot of applications that are based on a new business model based on the social web. Platform marketing, Uber, Airbnb are all based on these innovations coming from the social web. That is that you have a platform, and the platform brings together a service provider, which is the consumer. And so we have consumer-to-consumer models now. So a consumer offering a service to another consumer. Take the example of Airbnb. You have a provider of a flat or a house. He's the producer, and the demand, another consumer who wants to rent a flat or a house. The platform brings together both sides, the consumer and the deliverer of the service. A lot of examples exist, and so this is related to the fact that new technologies enabled firms to adapt products and services to changing needs of customers. Changing needs because Airbnb, Uber is clearly corresponding to the needs of mobility. If you like to take the example of platforms like Weight Watchers or Fatster, it is a social web where other consumers help other consumers to resolve a problem, for example, to lose weight. So the socialization, the community enables other consumers to be less alone and to help each other. And this is what we call today the social web. They recommend things. If you take the example of social commerce, on Facebook you have other customers doing recommendations to their friends in order to buy products. And so this is what we call today the social commerce or social web. And this is related to the innovation coming from quite old technology. But we have new technologies now. So the internet is evolving, it's changing, but we have new technologies related, such as AI, artificial intelligence, or IoT, bringing new data. AI will help us for personalization. We need more personal products. AI will do us personally recommended products and services exactly according to our needs and former purchase behaviors. AI will help new business models waiting terms of new needs that exist from the consumer side. But new products and services will satisfy these new needs, and innovation is the only way to satisfy this. That is why innovation is so important. Strategic asset and is an asset to be efficient in marketing.